Hey there everybody, here we are back with video 2 of my cabin in Caroline. This video is the follow-up to video 1 where we went over the rolls, not all of the rolls in the song, but just about 5 measures of the tougher rolls. But I want you to practice a few of these more challenging measures because when you get to the full break it'll be easier if you've seen these and worked on them for a few hours, right? It's a good idea to look at the preceding measures when you're trying to isolate a measure like we are doing here, 7 and 8. We're going to take those together, but it's a good idea to look at 6, where you're coming from, and measure 9, where you're going to. We'll cover all of these in the next video. I'm going to go through the entire break in the next video. Measure 6 is this. So here's where your hand position is coming into measure 7. Now you may want to play that with your pinky, that 4th fret, 4th string note. I'm going to reach up with my ring and play it. But regardless, you just have to slide down and get right into that D7th chord for the next measure, which is this. And right as I finish off that forward roll, the final note, as I mentioned in the previous video, is the first note of the next measure. Try to find the groupings. When you see a 2-measure phrase and it just looks like a bunch of T's, I's, and M's hitting you from all angles, try to find the rolls that you already know. TIM. We've worked on TIM since the very first video I put out 6 months ago, the easiest banjo roll. And look for those. Look for the square rolls, the TITMs and things like that, because you can find them usually within a 2-measure phrase. Measure 8 by itself would be 2, 3, 4. And you're going to take your middle finger, which was on the 3rd string 2nd fret playing the D7, and put it up to the 4th string 2nd fret in order to catch that note there, right at the end of the measure. So let's play 7 and 8 together. 1, 2, 3, 4. And as I mentioned in the last video also, it's a good idea to play the first note of the measure following the ones you're working on. In this case, you're going to play a 2-5 slide. So when you practice measure 7 and 8, you might want to just go. Just so you get used to that. Let's go on to measure 14. 14 is the measure where the right hand looks like this. Remember we had that space. Measure 14 I think is the most difficult measure of the piece here. And this is why. You start off with just a 3-2. 4. 4th string is fretted at the 2nd fret, which seems safe enough. But then you've got this 2-3-2 hammer pull. Now a hammer pull is tough enough as it is. But when you add to the fact that you just played the 4th string on the 2nd fret and you got to play the 3rd string on the 2nd fret, how are you going to get this finger from here to here that quickly? Other ways you could tackle this measure 14. One would be to use your index finger up on the 4th string and then plant your middle finger on the 3rd string 2nd fret and do the hammer pull like that with your ring finger. I'm not that strong in that position. By the way, it's your index finger that's plucking the string for the hammer pull. So that would be one way. I'm more comfortable if I'm going to use 2 fingers using my middle and ring finger, which would be my pinky would be doing the hammer. Measure 15 is going to be thumb, thumb, index, index. Remember we talked about this, the thumbs being the eighth notes, 1 and 2, E and the index fingers coming on the 16ths. And as I mentioned previously, doing 2 index fingers back to back is hard to do at tempo and get it smooth. And this will eventually be up to a pretty good tempo. Now, Earl did it. You can see videos where he did double index, double thumb on 16th notes occasionally and made it work. For my money, I would rather go thumb, 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 index, even if they're all on the same string. The left hand with this is going to be, and as I do that pull, I'm plucking the thumb for the pull, and then as I take my finger off to get the open string, I'm using my index finger. And then the middle finger comes up for the 4th string, 2nd fret, and the middle finger plays the open 1st string. So the whole thing would be, and you're going to finish with your 3rd string. You could play it with your middle and hammer with your ring finger. You could play it with your index finger and hammer it with your middle finger, whatever you're more comfortable with. The 16th measure, which begins with that 3rd string open, 5th string open, easy enough. Then you get kind of a tricky thing. I showed you in the previous video, the picking hand is just picking 1, 2, 3, 1. Simple enough, except the first one has a pull-off, the 2nd note is open, and the 3rd note has another pull-off. So you've got this, you've got 2 pull-offs. They're not in a row, but they're pretty close. You have one note, 1/16th note, to get from here to here. And again, the right hand is going to be middle finger plucks the first pull-off, 3-2 pull-off. So no time to let that note ring there. You're going to go and take it off. Let's put measures 14, 15, and 16 all together now. Go back, pause, and practice these measures if you need to. I'm reading the tablature off here, but you can either write it down, the string numbers, or the best thing to do is just to memorize it. And I would play it without the tablature, but then it would sound like me because I would throw some of my licks in there that I do when I'm playing this song. And we want to keep it the Earl way here, Earl-esque, or actually Earl-like. So here we go, measures 14, 15, and 16. 1, 2, 3, 4. I went ahead and threw measure 17 in, which is actually just the pickup to the next measure, whether it's going to be the next verse to be sung or somebody else taking a break. Let's try it again a little bit faster. 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3, 4. So there you have it, the fretting patterns to go along with the challenging measures from video 1. Next video, we're going to go through the entire break. Tune in and check it out. Please leave your comments, subscribe if you will, that helps of course, and we'll see you in the next video.